Oh, Richard, nice to see you after so many days. Tell me, please, how is the audio and video? And Nikolai, hi Nikolai, thank you very much. Please let me know how is the video and audio. I got rusty in the last few months. Audio plus video good. Thank you very much, Richard. I got rusty a little bit. I just learned how to use this system, and then I went away for 3 months, and now it took me like 15 minutes to remember what was what and how to use it and so on and so on. But anyway, I will renew the practice every Sunday live stream for channel members and patrons, and I'm sure that after a few weeks everything is going to be alright. Okay, for today we're not gonna have a specific topic. I'm just back and I'm open for any questions. In fact, I'm glad to be back after so many kilometers. I really felt good to be back, honestly. And yeah, how are you doing? How was your summer? Richard, where you've been? Nikolai? Yeah, as I said, this was a long journey, very interesting journey. I'll tell you honestly, I haven't got such an interesting adventure from a long time. Island hopping, island hopping in Greece, but the bike, the ferries, Nikolai in California, Greece in Bulgaria. Love it. Okay. So you did enjoy your time. Excellent. This is the most important of motorcycle traveling, to enjoy your time, no matter where. It is for you, for your memories, for your fun, if I can say. So yeah, California and Greece. Very nice. All right. Yeah. As I said, guys, this was the most interesting journey that I have from a long time. Did I get exhausted? Not at all. This time I split the time and the kilometers properly. It was basically between 3 and 500 kilometers per day. I've got a few days with a little bit more, but this was the average mileage, 3 to 500 kilometers per day. And I did not get tired. Did it live up to your expectations? I have to say, Richard, it was even more than I have been expected. As you know, I've been to Russia before, but this trip was something completely different, and I enjoyed so much. I saw much more than I was expecting, and the emotions were much higher than I was expecting. In a few words, it was just excellent, excellent journey. As I said, I never got such a wonderful experience. Well, I had in the past, but the last time that I've got such a interesting journey was in 2015 in Central Asia. Since then, all the trips were nice, but not that nice, not that interesting. That's why this time was just poof, like this, like a completely different world. And it's exactly different world. And once again, to the question of Nikolai, no, I did not get tired because, as I said, the kilometers were not so many. I split it properly. So basically, every day I was starting very early, like 6, 7 in the morning, sometimes even 5 o'clock. And I was finishing riding maximum at 4 p.m., which is mean that I had more than enough time to relax, to walk around, to eat properly, and finally go to sleep around 10 o'clock in the evening. And the next morning I was recharged and ready to go. So I did not even have ass pain on this trip because of the kilometers that I split properly. Even though the kilometers were so many, 39,000, it all went just like that. So I've got many days off, but not because I was tired. The days off were usually when I was waiting for something, for example, tires, or I have a day off because I want to see a specific city. I never had a day off because I feel tired and I want just to relax. I hope this answers your question. How do you follow that? You mean the Richard? Please specify. I lost your connection. So you asked me, did the trip cover my expectations, and then how do you follow that? How I have to understand this? Sorry, I cannot get this question. Nikolai, any major issues with the bike? Nikolai, maybe I will disappoint you, but zero, nothing. The bike is just a soldier, just a soldier. Well, now I got to Richard. I don't know where I will go now to have interesting trip, or to have trip that will be more interesting than the trip to Russia, honestly. Because the destinations that I have left, the destinations that I haven't been, are not so many at the moment. And I will share a secret with you now. Next winter I will go to South America. Not this winter, next winter. Next December I will take off for South America. But I'm not sure that South America will be that interesting like Russia, but I really hope that it will be. So this is already a problem, because this trip was so interesting, so wild and so different. Every next trip supposed to be better, but I don't know, will it be possible? That's great. I was expecting that the Tenerife will do it very well. I was expecting this as well, but man, as I said, this motorcycle is a real soldier. It has much more capabilities and possibilities than me, honestly. It works and works and works, no matter what I what I ask and what I did with it. It just works. South America with my bike or hired? I don't know yet. Still a lot of time. The reason I postpone it for next year is because now the time to December is too short, and I wouldn't be able to prepare everything properly. I would like to be with my bike, but all depends on the price and organization. To ship the bike over there used to be 800 euros one way, but I guess now it's going to be double, so which just means more than 3,000 euros just to ship the bike there and come back. So I don't know, I will probably buy a motorcycle there or ask someone to organize it for me. I don't know yet. I prefer to go with mine, but I don't know yet. If I am with my motorcycle, I will know what to expect. I can trust on my motorcycle. If I got another motorcycle, buy or rent, it's always a big risk, but this is the price that I have to pay to have more time, or to make it easy. Still don't know. It all depends on the sponsors as well. If I got a good numbers of sponsors, then will be easy to ship the bike. If I don't have, I have to buy a motorcycle or rent over there. I don't know. Actually, there are some kind of bikes in South America that going around like prostitutes. So someone take it from the south and ride it to the north, and leave it in the north. Someone coming to the north, take it from the north and ride it to the south. So they are exactly like prostitutes. But these bikes are usually, I don't know, questionable condition, questionable prices, and everything is just something to move you around, which is option, of course, but I prefer to be a little bit different if I have this chance, of course. Did I enjoy most when I'm at home? Oh yes, honestly, the first 2-3 weeks here at home will be lovely. Already 1 week it just went like this, and I really enjoy the comfort. I really enjoy to have my computer, my garage, all of the comfort that I've got here, my friends around. It's just fantastic to be at home. But I know that after 2 more weeks it will be just itching to go and see something else. But now at the moment I really enjoy all of this, especially the food. When I'm at home, I'm very, very cautious about the food. I strictly follow a specific way of eating, and when I'm at home, I've got this chance and I do it. On the road, of course, I can eat whatever I found, but on the road, it's really pleasure. At home, it's really pleasure to have my fridge with everything I like, and to do exactly what I want. Will I travel through multiple countries or just one? In South America, if you mean, yes, multiple countries. I will try to visit all the countries there, include Brazil. I know that many people skip Brazil because it's too dangerous, but when someone tell me that a country is too dangerous, I do exactly the opposite. I immediately go there. So I definitely have a plans to go to Brazil and show you that it's not dangerous at all. It will take probably around 3 months again. And as I said, I will try to see as much as possible countries and meet as many as possible people on the roads. Because as I said many times, people are the most important to me. Interesting, a motorcycle traveler's diet. Well, I follow specific way of eating. I'm very interested from food actually. In the last maybe 10 years, I read many books on this topic. I watched a lot of videos. I read a lot of articles regarding to the food, and I made also many experiments with my food. Luckily, I never been sick. I never had the problems with the health, but the reason I'm so focused in the food is because I do believe that we are what we eat, and if we don't eat properly, this will react to our health. And just because I'm in good health now, it's not promise, and I want to be like this in the future. That's why I'm very, very cautious about the food. In Bulgaria, luckily, we still got chances to find a good quality food from the sources, not the typical supermarket shopping that everything is coming from nowhere. And that's why I really enjoy the moments now when I can go to the local farmers and buy a local cheese, meat, or vegetables, and I know where they come from, and just prepare it properly at home and eat it. Good, good, good. Well, listen, Richard, on that age we have to be strict, otherwise we're gonna pay a heavy price. So I perfectly understand. Yes, no sugar is a good good decision in your life. I try to avoid sugar, and basically I don't eat any sugar, or I don't drink coffee. All the tea I drink without any sugar, but I really love chocolate. And for me, the sweet things start and finish with chocolate, and this is still something that I enjoy. Nikolai Kosev, all Russians friendly with you on the trip? Yes, absolutely. I haven't met even one person that was not friendly with me or anyone, foreigner people on the road. Yes, all the people are absolutely great. They don't care at all where you come from, and I did not have any problems with people. It was exactly the opposite. Everyone that I met always tried to help me with something, advice, accommodation, food, or anything. Even a normal strange people that I met on the road, they always tried to help. Of course, the first reaction was always the same. Where are you going? Magadan. Oh, Magadan! Do you know where is Magadan? Did you lose your mind what you're gonna do in Magadan? But this is understandable. But all people, fantastic. I have no words for people. Motorcycle community in Russia is a big deal. They are very, very united. And thanks to these bike posts that I slept in many nights, it is just a great help. When you have all of these connections, when you sleep in one place, they actually ask you in what direction you're going, east or west. And when you say I'm going to the east, they will immediately point you to the next bike post, and they will call their friends and say, "Oh, a motorcyclist from Bulgaria coming now. Can you meet him?" Yeah, absolutely. And this is repeated one after another, until the end of the road, and then come back on the way back. Fantastic. As I said, motorcycle community in Russia, it's a big deal. Yes, they are not like a motorcycle community in Europe. They don't have these fancy and expensive motorcycles. Most of them are riding whatever they have. A lot of choppers, a lot of old machines. Some of them got some new motorcycles, but mostly old machines. But it doesn't matter. Deep in their hearts, they're fantastic travelers, because they do everything the hard way, and they've got really harsh conditions and difficult rides, but even so they have got this desire to travel, and they do it with everything they can. In Europe, I'll say the motorcycle travelers are a little bit lazy and spoiled. They always prefer to have the best, the top of the market, the best of this, of that, and then spend like 1,000, 2,000 kilometers riding in these directions. In Russia, the kilometers are just everything is so far away. They have a words. Behind the corner mean 3 kilometers, and nearby mean 600 kilometers. That's far they travel all the time. Tenere travel. I do not know of any other community where we're so open. Everyone is accepted. Where else can you find this? No, absolutely. I don't know either. As you know, I've been to so many places, everywhere around the world. People are nice. So many people met me around the world, host me, gave me everything. But all of the people, or most of these people, 95% of the people that I met on the road, or that met me and gave me everything, they already know me from YouTube. Of course, there are some exceptions, but most of them know me already. But in Russia and in these bike posts, just a few people know about me. Most of them never heard about me. They just heard a motorcyclist from Bulgaria. Okay, you're welcome to come. So it's a big difference, a huge difference between this how people react to strange people, or how people react to people that they already know. So as I said, in Europe, I've been hosted to many places, but people already know me from YouTube. Not in Russia, but even so, I've got the same, even better in many days. What was the hardest part of the trip? Gordon Roberts. Gordon, you wouldn't... nice to see you again, Gordon. Thank you for the question. You wouldn't believe, but the hardest part of the trip was to restrict myself of twisting the throttle. And it doesn't matter where, on the road or on the dirt roads. It was always the same, because when you have so many kilometers to cover, when you open the map, when you see on your Google Maps or your whatever system you use, when you see that you have 3,000 kilometers for the next week, you have the desire to twist the throttle more, to make it faster. But this was the most difficult part of the whole trip, to restrict myself of twisting the throttle. If you ask, if your question is where was the most difficult riding terrain, of course this is from Yakutsk to Magadan, this 2,000 kilometers without roads. This was the most difficult part of the trip, technically. But it is not easy also to ride in the middle of Russia, like 500-600 kilometers per day with a lot of traffic, just one single road, like 2 lanes and a lot of traffic. It's also difficult. It's not the same like riding off-road, but it is still something that you cannot really understand until you start riding over there. Because as I said, I've been to Russia many times, but every time when I hit these straight roads with hundreds of kilometers, nothing around, just traffic, it's just not easy. Tenere Travel, when you start the channel, when you started the channel, did you ever think that it will become so popular? Not at all, Richard. I started this channel as a joke. It was not exactly accident, but I had the channel for many years. I never used it like today. And it was just accidentally when someone asked me to make a video review of jacket, and this is how everything started. I never ever planned it. I never got any ideas to become so popular or to reach so many people in so many places around the world. Never ever. And this was never been my dream. My dream and my goal always been the same, to see the whole world. I didn't have any idea how this was going to be happened, but it is a fact that it is happening now. I still have so many countries to see it, but I am going in this direction, and if my health and God allowed me, I'll be able to see the whole world. So no, I never expected anything like that, honestly. And I am surprised in a good way. Nikolai Kosev, did you have any near crash situations? Yes, I've got a few. One that I remember, I'll try to explain it now very slowly, but you have to understand that it happened just for a few seconds like that. I was riding on the asphalt road somewhere in the middle of Russia, and the road was really wide. So I'll try to explain like that. So I've got a big truck in front of me, probably around 50 meters in front of me. And after the trucks on the left side, now the camera will show the left side, it was a car. I was in the middle, and behind me on the right hand side was another car. And we were like a diagonal positioned, something like that. And we were riding with about the same speed like that all together. And suddenly I saw that from the truck which is in front of us was dropping a big wooden beam like this, big square made from wood, just dropping on the ground and make this tum 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 and going under the front right tire on the car that stayed on the left side of me. And of course, hitting the tire and the tire immediately exploded. The wheel fell down, and this wooden lock started to spinning like this, going and crossing my path like 1 meter before the front wheel like this, going behind me and hitting the front left tire of the car behind me, which is exploded immediately, and then run away. And now I'll explain what's happening when I was riding very fast. It was just like riding and then like this, and then once again dropping, smashing the front tire of the car in front of me, smashing this tire, and goes. And I couldn't even react. And the only thing that I was able to do is just blinking like this and make "Thank you very much, God." That was so fast, poof, like this. And I've got a few more like this, but nothing so major. I did not even have someone to cut my road, or most of the situations that you will expect to have in not so civilized countries, I will say. But I was nicely surprised to see that the traffic in Russia, it's not that bad as before. So this is my fourth time in Russia, I think. First time was in 2008 and it was bad. Then I was in 2015, a little bit better. I mean, traffic conditions, behavior of drivers, and road conditions. And then in 2017, even better. And now, even better. So every time, year after year, the things became more strict, more normal. And now I have to say this is the best from many years. So I did not expect the drivers to be so polite, so disciplined. For example, when I get to the traffic, if they see me, they always make me a way to go through into the traffic. Always. Sometimes they did not see me, I just make a pink or brum brum, and they just move the cars or trucks, whatever, and let me go. Always, without any problems. Why is the traffic better now? Because of the cameras. Basically, if you start from St. Petersburg up to the middle of the country where Novosibirsk is, the cameras are honestly on no more than 3 kilometers one from another. So many cameras everywhere, thousands of cameras. And this of course makes the traffic strict. And what they did, they split the cameras to private institutions or private people. So every person could go buy a camera, put it on the road with a tripod, connect it to the computer system with his car, sit there and collect all of this data all days, or any day, or many hours, or many days. After that, what they can do, just go and share this information with the government institutions, and they get percent of every bill that people pay. So that's why they have so many cameras everywhere, front, back, traffic lights everywhere. And I believe that this made the traffic a little bit better, or much better than before. But with one big difference: even though the fines or the bills for the speed camera, speed tickets are not that expensive, not like in Europe. For example, speed camera with 20-30 kilometers over the speed limit will cost the owners of the car like 10 euros. 10 euros is like 1,000 Russian rubles, which is not that much. But even though it has this effect to reduce most of the problems on the road. Yeah, I think this is the main reason. Yeah. Okay, any other questions? So this European part of Russia that I said, most of the cameras, is the part of Russia which is so populated and has so much traffic. So because it's most of the time it's just one road, 2 lanes, it's jammed with a lot of trucks, and as I said, it is not easy to ride it. It's not difficult as a hell. It's not difficult like some of the countries that I've been, like Southeast Asia. It's not that populated, but still a lot of cars, a lot of trucks, and still it's a long day because there are no highways. There are actually a few highways, but I avoided, and they were mostly in the European part of Russia. After that, it was just double lanes. Did you think of anything you did not take with you on you will now up to your kid? No, I actually I had a few things that I never used and I will not gonna take it on the next trip. So all the gear that I've got, everything that I've got in my saddlebag and my camera bag was very precisely tuned during the year. So everything that I've got inside was necessary. So I've got a few things that I don't need it or I did not need it on that trip and I'm not gonna take it on the next trip. And one of them was my sunglasses. Believe it or not, they are not that big, but the cover of the sunglasses is very bulky and take a lot of space in my luggage. So I never used the sunglasses. I took the sunglasses to use it when I walk around, because on my helmet I've got sunglasses, but I never use it. And few more small items that I never use it. So I don't want to add anything new in the luggage. I want to remove some things from the luggage. Gordon Roberts, when you was riding on the dusty roads behind the trucks, how far did you have to stay from them, or did you try to pass them as quickly as possible? So Gordon, behind the truck, you have to understand that 1 kilometer behind the truck is always dusty. The closer you coming, the dustier it is. But if you don't overtake it, you will stay in the dust forever. So what I did every time was to come as close as possible, as fast as possible, and try to find a spot to overtake it. It was not easy. In many situations I need to wait like 3 to 5 minutes and eat a lot of dust. But it was necessary, because if you don't overtake it, you'll spend the whole day riding in the dust. Very difficult, because when you go through these clouds of dust, you don't see anything in front of the truck. When you try to go on the left and overtake it, you don't see anything in front of the truck, which is mean that if there are cars or traffic, they also don't see you. Also, the truck driver cannot see you as well. Even if he has a good attention to help you, he cannot see you and he cannot help you. Sometimes when the truck drivers see me, they just slow down and let me go. If they slow down, the dust immediately slows down and I can overtake them. But this is happening in very, very rare situations. So to answer to your questions, no, I always try to come as close as possible and overtake it as fast as possible. This was the only possible way to me. Of course, without risking everything. Just every time when I've got just a little bit of clear view, I was striking immediately. The problem was that when you're riding in these gravel roads, they are not even, sometimes they make these big lines because of the trucks. You stay in the line, and when you try to move, you're going into unknown territory. You don't know what will be big rock or dust or sound. This is the risk. But I understood the risk, and I'm a lucky man. I just went through. But it is a risky situation every time. That's why when I see the truck, I just want to overtake it as quick as possible to avoid this risk and ride as more as possible. It's happening that sometimes I overtake 2, 3, 5, 10 trucks, and then I want to stop for a while because my camera freezes. I need to remove the battery and plug it again, or I just want to pee. But because I know that if I stop now, all of these trucks will overtake me again, I was holding, and sometimes I was riding up to 4 hours because I just don't want to stop. Because if I stop, they overtake me, and then I have to eat all of this dust again. I hope this answers your question. So the last part, the road of bones, or the last part from Yakutsk to Magadan, this 2,000 kilometers, and the same kilometers back 2,000. And if you include Omiakon, as I included, these are another 1,000 kilometers this direction and back. It's altogether 5,000 kilometers on dirt roads, any kind of roads, dusty roads, muddy roads, sand, gravel, anything you can imagine. Technically, they are not some kind of very hard technical off-road. In most of the kilometers, they are fine. They are just flat gravel road in most of the time. But anything could change in every second, every minute, behind every corner, and you just don't know. And as I said, this was the most difficult part, to restrict myself of twisting the throttle, because now let's say I'm going to a really nice flat gravel road and I can speed to 100 kilometers per hour, even more. Sometimes I did it when I really see what it is. But then suddenly you coming behind the corner, it's a big patch like 300 meters of deep sand. And if you're just coming on this on speed, you might not be able to do it. Or a big stone on the road, or a big pothole, or a big patch of mud or lock from the trucks, or sometimes I saw many metal parts, something left from the trucks. So there is always this danger, and that's why I always try to restrict myself and always try to keep something like 50, 60, 70 kilometers when the road is good. When it's not good, I was able to make something like 30 kilometers per hour average speed. But in most of the days and most of the time, I was calculating like 50 kilometers per hour average speed. And because on this Magadan track or the road of Bones track, this 2000 kilometers, they are split it like that. From Yakutsk to the first place where you can spend the night, where you can sleep, this is Khandyga. This is 400 kilometers. Then from Khandyga to Usnera are 600 kilometers. From Usnera to Susuman, 400 kilometers. From Susuman to Magadan, 600 kilometers. So every day you have between 4 and 600 kilometers. Nothing between. You cannot ride 300 kilometers and spend the night there because there is nothing there. I've got a tent with me, but the tent was only as an emergency if I break the motorcycle or if I have a situation that requires to sleep on the road. I never ever planned to sleep in the tent, and luckily I never had to. But this automatically means that when I start today, I have to ride 400 kilometers or 600 kilometers, depends on the destination. So, as I said, 50 kilometers per day, 50 kilometers per hour. When you have 400 kilometers, this automatically make 8 hours, minimum 8 hours per day, strict riding on dirt roads. And this is if you don't have any problems, no flat tires, you don't stop at all, you don't eat, you don't relax, then you have 8 hours. If you include this and you add it on the top, it will be as a minimum 10 hours. On the long days, 600 kilometers, this means automatically like 14 to 15 hours of strict riding days. And if everything is alright, if the weather is nice, if you don't have any problems, you can make it from Yakutsk to Magadan for 4 days. I included Oymyakon and it took me 5 days, 1 extra day, and I did it. But I was lucky enough to have a good weather most of the time. It was raining in many days, but the first 400 kilometers are the worst. Not 400, actually 250, because they have 150 asphalt and then 250 very bad road. On this first 250 kilometers, if you have rain, you cannot move at all. Even the trucks stop. I was lucky to have a dry weather, which is mean a lot of dust, but still dry weather, and I was able to cross this 250 kilometers for something like 8 hours, because the average speed is dropping significantly. And after that, on the next days, I've got many days of rain, but because the road over there is a little bit better, when it's rain, you can still ride. There is a lot of muddy patches and muddy sections, but you can still ride, I'll say normally. Not on full speed, not on as you can do it on dry asphalt or dry terrains, but you can still ride, and I did it. So just because I was lucky, I was able to do on that way for 5 days, on the way back for 4 days. So I hope this answered the question. Okay, I have 3 people now. Good. I hope next week will be more people, but next week I will find a good topic to talk. Now I'm just my head is still like a myth. I still did not get all of my thoughts properly together. And it was funny enough, but when I finally reached Varna last week, when you traveled with the other person, did he take your advice on the luggage? I met this person around 2000 kilometers before Yakutsk in one bike post. And when he arrived, he put his motorcycle in the garage that I was, and he just stand like this in front of the motorcycle, look my motorcycle, look his motorcycle, my motorcycle, his motorcycle, and said, it looks like I did something wrong. I said, why? I have so much and you have so little. And he said, but I have a tent. And I said, I also have a tent. Yeah, but I have tools as well. I said, yeah, I also have tools. I have spare parts. Yeah, I also have spare parts. And where is the mistake? I said, I don't know, you tell me. So we finally opened my luggage and his luggage and start to investigate what is the problem. On the next day, he shipped at home 15 kilograms. 3 days later, he shipped at home another 15 kilograms, and even so, he was so heavy. He was so well prepared for everything, to the end of the world. But he did not understand the point that all of this luggage is going to be a problem. He was a great guy, but he hasn't got experience on long trips. So on the next day, I left very early. And maybe somewhere in the afternoon, I was eating somewhere on the road, and he just passed and then come back and stop, and we ate together. We chat a little bit, and then I went again. On the next day, again, we met someone on the road, because this is only one road. We travel basically in one direction, the same direction. And the next day, again, we stopped I stopped on some place to eat, and after a few hours he arrived. We ate together, and then I left and he left. On the next day, I was traveling, and I saw his motorcycle somewhere on the road, and I stopped and said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And we ate again together. And then he said, "So it's obvious that we're going to Magadan. Can we ride together to Yakutsk?" I said, "Yeah, sure, we can ride to Yakutsk together. It's the same road." So on the next day, we start traveling together. We went to Yakutsk. In Yakutsk, he needed to change the tires. He changed the tires, and then he said, "Okay, I don't have much experience, and if you don't mind, if you can travel together, we'll be very pleased." I said, "Yeah, no problem. Let's go together." And then his wife called him on the telephone, and he said, "My wife wants to speak with you." And he gave me the telephone, and she said, "Thank you very much for taking Pavel with you. I was worried so much that he's alone and he hasn't got experience to go alone. And thank you very much for taking Pavel with you." I said, "Oh man, now I have no other options. We just need to travel together." As I said, he was a great guy. He hasn't got experience, but he definitely took a lot of notes. Every day, everything that I said to him, he said, "Yes, you're right. I'm gonna correct it for the next day." He actually saw everything on practice. Everything that, guys, I told you in the last 15 years, he saw it for these 5 days together, 5 or 6 days that we were together. He saw everything on practice. So everything that I told him when we were still in the bike post, he saw it on practice. Include the clutch cable. He was very surprised to see that I have a second clutch cable. I said, "Why is that?" I said, "Because you can break it on the road." And he said, "Yeah, I have a spare with me." And 3 days later, he broke his clutch cable in the middle of Magadan track. And he said, "Now I understand." So he basically got a proof for every one of my words during this trip. How heavy is the motorcycle, how properly is unset, how everything's supposed to be. And he can see me every day that I just stand on the pegs, grab the handlebar very gently, and I do nothing. The motorcycle do everything for me. The suspension and the motorcycle do everything for me. I just need to hold the handlebar, twist the throttle a little bit, and enjoy the ride. He need to sit on his motorcycle like this. Handlebar was very close, like this. A lot of luggage and bumping like this all the time. And he said, "Oh man, it's so difficult." Every night when we stopped, he was sleeping at 7 p.m. like this, like crazy. He was so tired. So he saw everything on practice. So he definitely listened all of my advices, and I am sure that he learned a lot from this trip, and next trip will be completely different. He said, "When I go home, the first thing that I'm gonna do is to revise all of my mistakes, change the motorcycle, adjust it for my height," because he was a tall guy, like 190 something. So he definitely need to lower the pegs, raise the handlebar, prepare everything, move it a little bit forward to have a good control position. And he's a great guy. He helped me a lot on the way back, because once we get out of Magadan track, he went immediately home, and I continued slowly on my road. And one of the days, I was just before Irkutsk. I was riding in the rain for about, I don't know, maybe 10-12 hours, and I got completely wet at the end of the day, and it was cold, like 5-6 degrees. And finally I called him, and he met me in Irkutsk and helped me with everything. Just immediately take my motorcycle, all of my clothes. We went to his place, dry all the clothes. I went into the shower and I said, Pavel, you basically saved my life. I didn't want to look for hotel in this condition. I was so freezing and cold. So he really helped me at the back. But to reply to your question, yes, absolutely. He'll listen everything that I said. All right, any other questions, guys? Regarding to the trip or any other questions, no matter, just whatever is on your mind. I guess you already saw the trailer of the trip. I will start tomorrow to make the episodes, and the first episode is going to be on Thursday. And every Thursday I will try to upload at least one episode. I will keep them like 15 to 20 minutes. The beginning, I don't know, for some people will be interesting, for some not. But as you already know, all of the episodes that I'm going to make, they're not going to be some kind of epic adventure episodes. They will be just the reality. Me riding the motorcycle, showing you everything as it is. People, food, hotels, roads, everything. No fancy music, no drone footage or stuff like that. Even though I've got a few times drone footage, thanks to Pavel who has a drone. It will be like this. Okay, enjoy your dinner. Richard, thank you very much for coming, and see you next week. Happy travels to you as well. Yes, the videos will come soon. How many episodes, I really don't know. I have a lot of footage. I will try to keep it as informative as possible. Not that long, but just at least to give you a basic idea what is to ride on this road. The whole trip, not only Magadan road, all the way from Varna to Magadan and on the way back as well. Because in many places on the way back was very interesting. Have you ever considered traveling to Iran? Yes, in the past. Now I don't really have... I don't really want to go now to Iran. I will, because it is still part of the world and I want to see all countries. I will combine it with other direction, probably South India, because I still want to go to South India. But Iran is not something that I really wanted to see, because I honestly know what I'm gonna see there. All of these blue mosques and nice people I already seen in Central Asia. And Iran is not exception. And Iran now at the moment is not what it was 5 or 10 years ago. Now it's still commercialized, and I will do it, but it's not something that it's stayed in my mind. I want to go to Iran, I want to go to Iran. There is no real adventure for me in Iran. There is only asphalt roads, good roads. Any doctor from Germany with GS 1200 can go to Iran. And when I cannot see any challenge, there is nothing really for me there. I will combine it with another trip, probably to South India, when I plan to go to South India. But just Iran like this, no. It's not bad, people are fantastic, well, at least is what I have heard. But I met so many nice people everywhere, and yeah, this is my opinion about Iran. On Friday I was in one motorcycle meeting in Bulgaria. It was in a small town, like 300 kilometers away from here. It was nice to see all Bulgarian guys with motorcycles. Some of them were traveling away. Dimo also was there. He was in America, explaining me how everything was. Yeah, it was nice to meet all of these people after this long journey. So let me tell you once again. So for the first time after so many years, I've been to so many places, but after I come back from this trip and I reached the city center of Varna, I stopped there to film a video to show you that I already arrived in Varna. And I was blown up with so many emotions, and I cannot even explain why. But because I was telling to myself, not yet, you have to be strict, you have to finish the ride, you have to go to Varna, even though I've got, let's say, 100 kilometers to Varna, I still cannot relax and say that I'm at home. And finally, when I reached Varna, it was like big, woof, a lot of emotions, and I said, man, Can you imagine where you were at the end of the world, so many kilometers far away, with one motorcycle, and you come back without any problems, and all of these emotions, as I said, they were just too much. For the first time in my life, I felt all of this. I see I was asking, as I was wondering, is it okay to travel on the way to Nepal? Yeah, absolutely. Iran is not a problem to travel at all, but Nepal, it's, in my opinion, not a motorcycle destination. I've been to Nepal before. I went there with such a curiosity. I really wanted to see Nepal, and I saw it just to realize that Nepal is not a motorcycle destination. Nepal is a mecca for high climbers or people who want to climb high elevation peaks, to see all of these Himalayan peaks, to just to climb the peaks, but not with motorcycle. The roads are terrible, the traffic is horrible, and you wouldn't have even chance to see the Himalaya range properly. What you're gonna see, it's only traffic, dust, potholes, and a lot of garbage. This is what is my opinion about Nepal. Fantastic place if you walk around, if you plan to climb on the mountains, not for motorcycle. Do I have plans for another big trip in the near future? Yes, Gordon, I said about it, but you are still not here. Next winter, I'll go to South America. Next winter, not now, next one, next December. But I don't know. Next year, on some stage, I will share my plans, everything, when I know a little bit more about it. I plan to start from Argentina, from the bottom, and go all the way to the up, visiting all countries, include Brazil. So this is my plan for the next year, South America. Not clear yet. I don't know what exactly and what route and routes and everything, but I will definitely share it maybe in the middle of the next year, when I have more clear idea what exactly it is going to be. Any more questions, guys? Any topic, last trip or anything, just let me know. I'll go back again to the luggage and motorcycle. Everything that I've got with me was perfectly suitable for the whole trip. Motorcycle, absolutely soldier. Absolutely soldier. React perfectly in every situation. As I said, on the Magadan track, it was like I was just holding the handlebar and enjoying the ride. Motorcycle was doing everything for me. Suspension was holding all of these potholes. The engine was covering all hills and downhills. I was just enjoying the ride. Because in the trip before that, when I was going around Europe, it was the first time when I actually test the motorcycle, what is possible to do with this motorcycle, how easy or difficult it is to travel with it. And now on this trip, I have no doubts at all that it will work everywhere on the way I wanted. My perfect soldier. Tomorrow evening, around 8 o'clock, I will upload a long-term owner's review of the Tenere. At the moment it has 66,000 kilometers. The script of the video is already on my desktop. I'm gonna film it tomorrow during the days, and tomorrow evening I'll share this detailed video review of the motorcycle, tell you everything that I have learned so far from this model, all pros, cons, and everything that I already know. Did I sell my old Tenere? No, I've got a few calls just before I go, and I even stopped the promotion. I turned it on yesterday, but at the moment, no, it's still in the garage. If anyone wants it, come and take it. It still runs well, no problems whatsoever, but it's still in the garage. What did you do with your old chain? Did you bring it back with you? Yes, absolutely. It is here in my garage. I even clean it. Tomorrow I'm gonna change the sprockets, because I still got the sprockets that I left the town 3 months ago. Tomorrow I'm gonna change the sprockets, and the chain with the sprockets will go on my wall. I already got one, my first chain on 27,000 kilometers. This will be the second on 36,000 kilometers. So I clean it, it is in the garage, wait for the sprockets, and then it will be hung on the wall as a souvenir. It's actually survived more than I have been expected. 36,000 kilometers. I knew that on some stage it will give up, and I understand that if it's give up, I have to just leave it somewhere. But because it was so little, like 3,000 kilometers to home, and I thought that, oh man, I will be able to make it with one chain. But no, the last 2 days it just stuck so badly. It was sticking on one place, and when this place was going to the front sprocket, because it's small, it was tightening just very badly. It was actually shaking the whole motorcycle like this. And then I realized that I wouldn't be able to go like this. I will risk a lot to damage the chain or even break the front wheel the bearing of the front shaft, and that's why I decided to change it. But I brought it with me. It is here in the garage, already cleaned. All right, 51 minutes. I'm still here, guys. I've got time. If you have any more questions, just shoot. I'll try to reply to every one of you. Not many people, but you know, I'm here even for one person, so no problem whatsoever. Anyway, this video, of course, I'm gonna edit it, the blank spots, there are not so many, and then I'm gonna upload it on my second channel, Motorcycle Adventures Live, for everyone who want to watch it after that. And as I said, the video episodes of the trip also will be uploaded to the second channel, Motorcycle Adventures Live. The reason of that is because I want to split the audience. Everyone who wants to watch travel videos, go there. Everyone who wants to see reviews or how-to videos, go to the first channel. This is the reason, nothing more. Nikolai, did you enjoy the travel around Bulgaria? You said that you was in Greece, in Bulgaria. Ah, you was in Emona. Okay, nice place. Did you enjoy it? I guess yes. Everything is nice in Bulgaria. Not only in Bulgaria, everywhere around the world. Russia was so interesting, man. So interesting that I didn't want to go home. I didn't want. Until I left Russia. When I left Russia, went into Finland. Finland's first day was nice. And then, after that, I just wanted to go home. It's not that these countries are bad. Estonia, Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland. No, these are not bad countries, but I've been to these countries before. And there is nothing really to surprise me there. Nothing really to surprise me. And even though I saw some new places that I haven't seen before, I was already mentally at home. I just wanted to go home. But when I was in Russia, every day was such a pleasure and I didn't want to go home. Ah, you have a house there? Ooh, lucky you. Very nice. Yes, family is happy to see me, especially my mother. She was worried so much about me. You know, mothers, they're always the same. They always worry about their kids. Yeah, family is happy to see me. I'm happy to see them as well. Yeah, it was a long journey. Luckily, most of the people, even my family, they cannot really understand how far this is. Everyone who is not a traveler cannot really understand it. You can say to the people, I was in Magadan. Ah, Magadan, okay. They don't know, they cannot understand. Only if the person really travel, if the person really ride motorcycles, then he can understand you. What does mean Magadan? It's not the most difficult to ride part of the world. No, definitely not. But this is so far away. This is probably, if you live in Europe, this is probably the longest distance that you can get with your motorcycle. Any other direction will be closer if you live in Europe. Of course, if you live in Spain or Portugal, it will be a little bit more kilometers, or just about the same. But this is the longest destination that you can travel by land. And that's why I said people cannot really get it if they don't travel, especially with motorcycles. Only then you can understand what does mean 39,000 kilometers. I'm not saying that I'm a great rider. No, I'm a lucky rider. But for 39,000 kilometers, anything could happen. Anything. Crash accident, breakdown situations, health problems, anything. I haven't got any of this. Motorcycle, perfect. Health, perfect. Breakdown situation, nothing at all. Everything went just smooth like butter. Is the actual city of Magadan nice? Yes, it is. I did not expect that as well. It's a town with 100,000 people. It's a very nice located next to the big, like what is the proper word? Like big laguna. It has a really nice beach area with a lot of parks, and all the roads and streets in Magadan are nice, perfect asphalt, very well illuminated, a lot of flowers everywhere, nice people, kids, women everywhere on the road. It's actually a very nice place, very nice place. I enjoyed very much, and it was something that I did not expect. I thought that Magadan is going to be one very small old town with only concrete apartments, this legacy from Soviet days, but no, it's a very modern city with everything on it. A lot of restaurants, coffees, everything, and as I said, nice sea area with parks and benches and big beach, huge beach on the Okhotyan Sea. It's fantastic town, fantastic. I enjoyed really. I stayed there 3 days and really enjoyed, really enjoyed. And the weather was like 12, 13 degrees, but sunny, and it was fantastic. They've got a few very interesting museums that I visit, a few very interesting monuments that I also visited. So yeah, fantastic city. I really enjoyed. But it was not about the city, it was about the destination. And let me tell you something funny. When I finally reached Magadan, the last 80 kilometers before the town are asphalt, good asphalt road. And I was riding on this asphalt road, and I've got these beautiful mountains on the right, beautiful mountains on the left. And I was riding like this on the asphalt road, and I was thinking, man, when you have asphalt, it's not the same. It is not the same. When you don't worry about every meter, you don't know I'm gonna fall down or not now, motorcycle will break or not, and all of this dust. It is not the same. When you have this asphalt, this is mean that, as I said before, every doctor from Germany could start his GS and go all the way to Magadan. But when you have this difficult road, all of this dust, mud and everything, it's so much appreciated when you finally get there. And when I got there, I was so muddy, the whole motorcycle and me, from the top to the bottom, the same with the motorcycle, so much mud. And I went into the first shop to buy water or something, and then the lady from the shop looked me like this and said, where you come from? I said, from your roads. But even so, I was so happy that I finally reached. So this was the first part of my goal, just to reach Magadan. And I said to myself, okay, man, you got it. Now you're in Magadan. Even if your motorcycle breaks down now, at least the first part of the trip is already done. You reach the target. And then when I start moving back, every day was like okay, today I've done it. Today everything is all right. And then one more week, and I'm 1 week closer, and 1 week closer, and one more closer, and finally when I reach Varna, I already told you, like, whoa, now I'm back. So for me, this was a big achievement, if I can say, and I'm so happy that everything went so far. Many won't like it. I enjoyed very much. You might be the first person to go there with T7. I thought that I'm the first person, but it looks like an Italian guy went there a week before me. It is a little bit different because he went through Mongolia and shipped the motorcycle to one direction, and then I don't know where he went back. I never saw him. It's a little bit different trip that he done. It's not like me from Europe to there and back on the wheels. But unfortunately, I'm not the first T700 that reached Magadan. He's the first, different road, but he's the first. But I'm the first Bulgarian that ever reached Magadan with motorcycle, and I'm proud with all of this. Is that the longest trip that you have been? Yes, this is the longest trip that I have been in kilometers. When I was in Southeast Asia, it was again like 3 months, but the kilometers were 23,000. This is the longest trip, I mean kilometers, that I ever been. 39,000 kilometers. Trouble-free, without any problems. Completely alone. I really enjoy this. Was there a lot of midges or flies when you stop at the roads? Oh, yes, tell me about it. On this trip, I've got 4 flat tires. For the first flat tire that I've got was again on Magadan road. It was a lot of dust, a lot of trucks and everything. I need to fix the tire next to the road. So not even gravel, it was like a dusty location. It was next to a small petrol station, and behind the petrol station was a small patch with concrete. And actually, first time I put the tire on the concrete just to fix it, to have more a stable ground to work on it. But then the guy from the petrol station said, "Oh, you can't do it here, it's a petrol station, please move away." I said, "Man, just give me a few minutes, I'm here, this is the only flat surface." He said, No, you cannot do it, this is a petrol station, move away." So I need to move away, work on the grass and these muddy patches everywhere, all of this dust everywhere. And when the trucks are going onto the main road, it was like a lot of dust around me. And it was like 15 degrees, so I removed my jacket to have more power, because it was hot, just to fix the tire. And I've got a front tire, Meters 09 Dakar version, very hard tire. And I've got 4 millimeters tube inside, even harder. It took me like 1.5 hours. It was a real battle to remove and put this tire back again. And during this time, because I removed my jacket, I've got like 10 mosquitoes here, 10 mosquitoes here, 10 mosquitoes here, and midges in my eyes. And they were biting like crazy. And because my hands were so dirty, every time when I tried to beat them, I made myself look like a chimney guy. It was so dusty. And they were biting so badly, and the midges in the eyes. And then I said, "God, please give me 10 minutes, huh?" He didn't. They beat me so badly. Later, I cannot even put my hat. It was so badly. Like my head became like a mountain. But anyway, it was a weird experience. But it is what it is. I cannot just give up. I need to fix the tire. So as I said, it took me 1.5 hours. But I fix it and continue, because there are no other options. Did I have to camp at all? No, not at all. I had the tents, as I said, for emergency situation, but I never needed to camp with it, and I never planned it. It was only if I have a breakdown situation. There are a lot of bears over there, and to sleep in the tent is the last thing that you will like to do. I saw 4 bears while I was riding. Unfortunately, none of these bears is on cameras, because they're just not waiting for me. A few times when I saw bears, I pressed the camera immediately, but the camera got like 5 seconds delay. So until the camera start, the bears just disappear. But camping, not at all. I did not even plan it. For that reason, when I was preparing my camping gear, I did not even took my sleeping bag. Even though it's not big, it's like that, I prefer not to take it, because it takes a lot of space. And I thought, if for any reason I need to sleep in the tent, I can always do it with my riding gear, and I don't need to carry the sleeping bag for 39,000 kilometers. Even though I thought that it's going to be less, like 30,000 kilometers. But you know what? When you travel, you always go like that. "Oh, this is a nice place, let's go to see it. Oh, this is a nice place, let's go to see it." Or you meeting people, they say, "Let's go to right here, let's go to right here and there." And from my home to Magadan supposed to be like 13,000 kilometers, but when I reached Magadan, I already got like 18,000 kilometers. And it was the same on the way back, even more, because on the way back I already complete the main goal, and now I've got more time to see everything that I want. And that's why kilometers became so many, even though I did not plan it so many kilometers. Any more questions, guys? I will give you a few more minutes, and if you don't have any more questions, I'm gonna end this video here. But we'll like to see you next week. If you have any ideas about a topic for the stream next week, just let me know. I'll prepare myself. We'll make a nice list of things that I would like to cover, and I will be here to meet you. Still, we've got a nice weather in Varna. Tomorrow is going to be 22-3 degrees. I'm gonna ride a little bit. I'll go to the garage, change some parts with my friend Plamen. Luckily, the bike is still holding like a real soldier. Did you ride at night? No, just a few days I need to ride a little bit longer just to get to the place because I got delay for some reason. One of the nights was in Magadan. I finished it like 11 in the night. It was not completely dark, but almost dark. It's not a pleasure at all, especially that night because it was raining, muddy, and a lot of trucks. And this is not a pleasure. You don't see anything. It is already dangerous. So no, I don't ride during the night. Usually I start very early morning, 5, 6 o'clock, and finish around 3, 4 in the afternoon. Then the rest of the time I just used to eat well, to relax and prepare for the next day. And I will never recommend to anyone to ride during the night. It doesn't matter what kind of light you have or spotlights or whatever, it is not the same. Visibility is always compromised and the danger is much bigger. So always try to ride during the days. Even during the days it's already dangerous enough. So during the night, forget about it. Especially around countries like Russia, where especially on the Magadan road when the road conditions are not good, forget about it. Alright guys, thank you very much for coming here. Thank you very much for all of the questions that you got. I hope that you received the answers that you have expected. As I said, next week, next Sunday, I'll be here for you. And until this time, ride safely. So I'll end it here and see you next week. Bye bye.